So Tom Cruise back on the big screen. I know there was a time that actually meant something. Things have changed and movies like Jack Reacher and The Mummy don't help. But we will have none of that here today. Tom Cruise is actually back to form. And with that, I welcome you to another episode of The Real Mentor, where my goal is always is to enhance your movie watching experience. So American Made is based off a true story. You have Doug Liman directing this movie, who I really like. He actually directed it recently, Tom Cruise, and Live, Die, Repeat, or Edge of Tomorrow, whatever the hell they wanted to call that movie. Bad titles or not, it was a really good movie a couple years back. Highly recommended, very underrated when it came out. But it's a different kind of story. Again, this is based on a true story here. We have Tom Cruise, of course, playing Barry Seal, who was an ex-TWA pilot back in the late 70s. He gets secretly recruited by the CIA to run surveillance in Central America. And while he's doing that, kind of gets recruited by a small organization that's called the Medellin Cartel, of course, Pablo Escobar and company. And while he's doing that, he then turns to running guns to Central America, specifically in the Contras in Nicaragua. Then he's working for the DA in the White House, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's a fascinating true story here, which I didn't know a lot about it. And of course, it involves Noriega and then Panama, of course, even Oliver North, for those who are old enough to remember what happened with the Iran-Contra affairs, of course, and all that. So great, fascinating story. And Doug Liman does a really good job directing it. Because it's really well paced and they throw a lot of information in there, but it flows, man. It goes very well. Considering all that they throw at you, you never get lost, you know. And he does a good job of slowing it down the right time, then bring it back up. It's a very entertaining movie. I really enjoyed it. Very funny, and Tom Cruise knocks it out of the park. He's just so charming. It's this vintage Cruise here doing what he does best, and you know, getting you to really like his character, despite the fact of what he's doing is basically illegal. You know, you kind of root for him, and he's just so charming. He's got that smile, and he's kind of got everybody wrapped around his fingers. He's in total control here, and he's so engaging to watch. And this movie is pretty much engaging to watch. It doesn't reach great heights. It's not an Oscar movie per se, only because at the end of the day, and this is not really a complaint, it's something that this movie doesn't really focus on. It doesn't get too heavy into why he's doing his things, and I guess as far as why he got involved and him going through that struggle of whether he should or shouldn't, whatever is going through his head. For the most part, they don't really dive too much into it. They just kind of give you, he's got into this scenario, then he's jumping to this scenario, then he got involved in this organization. He's kind of trying to keep head above water and staying alive and staying out of jail all at the same time. And like I said, because it's not as deep, it's a little more lighter in tone. It's, like I said, a lot of moments of humor. So this is different than what you get from like a similar movie like Blow with Johnny Depp years ago, or what you see in Narcos now, which is another heavy show, great show on Netflix. This takes a different approach. Which is great. It's fine. Because of that, it's very engaging, very entertaining. You know, you're just not going to be blown away by it. Ultimately, do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you guys want to go to the theaters, there's one I definitely recommend you guys go watch. If nothing else, definitely catch it down when it comes out on VOD. Netflix is definitely worth your 2 hours and worth your time. If nothing else, for Tom Cruise itself and Doug Liman's directing. So ultimately, American Made, you guys are going to check it out. I think you should. Let me know. Comment below as always. Don't forget to check myself out in my podcast, The Real Mentor Podcast. So my two co-hosts, Chewy and the Man Beast, we talk about movies, TV, have fun along the way, because otherwise what's the point, right? And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.